All right, you're listening to the Living Mandala podcast. My name is Ara. All right, gang, the series continues. We are now on the solar plexus chakra. I'm here with Dr. Bill Barnard, and this is, in case you're just catching up here, this is a podcast series on the chakras of the house. And so we've already had an introduction. We've already covered the Muladhara chakra. We've done the sacral chakra. Now we're on the solar. We're just making our way up, the solar plexus chakra. So take it away. Tell us all about it. What do we need to know?
Well, I think it's just really telling. We talk about the solar plexus, right? Well, what is that? So it's linked to the sun. It's the solar plexus. It's the plexus. It's the nexus. It's the clustering. So it's the clustering of energies linked to fire and linked to the sun, right? And it's just called in the Sanskrit, it's called the Manipura. And Manipura means jewel city. It's really fascinating to me. It's almost, to me, and I don't know. I mean, we have to think, why is it called that, right? And to me, it's almost as if
the jewel
city, it's literally jewel city.
Okay.
But you can call it the bejeweled city, or the jewel-like city, or the city that's jewel of jewels. It can have all those connotations, right? So there's this sense that right in your, right, just there's this glowing sun, ideally, that's right in the middle of your abdomen. And it's coming out in front, but it's coming out and back too, because we often sort of forget that it's more. So again, I think it's better. I sometimes think of these chakras as almost like a sphere of light or a sphere of energy that radiates from these different places. And the beautiful thing, it's really handy with having a physical body, is that we can sort of link ourselves consciously with these parts of it, almost like earth ourselves. That's that first chakra. In these different locations in our body, we can find ourselves, and then therefore almost use that as like a landing place for these different energies to stream in, these different qualities of experience to stream in, right? And so this is, like I said, linked to fire. It's also, just to emphasize, also we were talking about the vibratory qualities of each of these chakras, and how each one of the chakras, the petals of the lotus, are like streamings of different Sanskrit letters, but they all also have what they call a seed mantra, and this was rum. And so rum is linked to fire. And so it's a way to, when you do these meditations, you can work with that sound, these different sounds, focusing your intention in that part of your body to sort of begin to, literally in this case, kindle or ignite, to set on fire these potentials within yourself, right? So in this case, that's what we're switching into sort of fiery metaphors, but they're not really metaphors. They're more like energies of different qualities of experience that have a type of almost like ontological cohesion to them, in a sense. It's this type of symbolic logic that applies for the chakras, I think, and so with this, it's like when we talk about, someone who's fiery too, right? Someone who gets things done, someone who accomplishes tasks, someone who, and of course, there's negative aspects to all these chakras, right? If they're undeveloped or they're distorted, right? So this can be someone who is just domineering and fiery and that sort of angry and berating, and so the negative qualities, again, within the classic yogic tradition of this chakra, had to do with like a power over, dominating, so a sense of like that it's like getting your way, and this egoic, I want my way or the highway, all these sorts of qualities, which are definitely there. And it's like, it is a sort of a distortion and crimping of the energies of this chakra. Just like we can distort and crimp and stagnate the energies of all the chakras, really. And but I think that's such a truncation of what the potential of this chakra is. It's really about It has everything to do with, to my mind, a sense of almost like literally regal capacity, the ability to be a master something, to accomplish something, to do it with excellence, right? And to have that sense of almost like royal strength and capacity to do things.
Courage.
And courage, exactly, and endurance and stick-to-itiveness and drive. So again, we can feel certain ambition, but we're in that same ballpark here.
How about vitality?
Oh, vitality for sure. Vitality maybe I have overlinks with second chakra too.
Sure.
Right? So I mean, but it's
life force.
But like
your furnace.
You're burning with love and life and power, and you got energy to get things done for sure, right? You're first, and so all that sort of stuff, and you're you're on fire with love of life, and you're on fire with enthusiasm, right? And so again, like we said, with vitality in that sense of just like you're just filled with energy, and you're just nothing can stop you, right? And you just want to keep going, and you get things done. You're very capable and dependable in that way. Dependable is also linked with first chakra, but that's
this is where they're starting to work together.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good to sort of see how their relations are in our everyday lives, because this is how we're living our lives, right? So hopefully we're living our lives in a way that's capable and strong and courageous and forthright and stands up for things. And beginning, you see, standing up for things is linked with also first chakra, right? So you have to be grounded and firm. You're standing in your place, but you're standing up for something in the sense that you're willing to face difficulty and speak truth to power, sort of all of that sort of notion of like you're. So I think it has that sense again of just like regal authority at its best, right? So yeah, these are like beautiful qualities and that we can cultivate in our lives, and then I just can't wait to hear how you think that it sort of manifest out into the house.
Well, okay, well,
fun to learn about.
My view of where the solar plexus shows up in the house is, it's the stuff of life. So it's the kitchen, it's the dining room, it's the laundry area, it's the exercise area, and it's everything to do with your pets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the stuff of life that, requires, power and vitality to take care of. Also, the solar plexus, sort of is a field, like you're saying, and it's for a lot of people, and I'll say for me, it's a little bit of an invisible field, because it is, once you get into the body, and you're tuning into the solar plexus, it's also like, it's like where all your guts are. It's where your stomach is. It's where your furnace is. It's where like all this mysterious stuff is happening and transforming, food into energy is like all that stuff. So that's what I was thinking, the kitchen, and so this is a good opportunity while you're tuning into the solar plexus chakra over the next couple of weeks to think about your kitchen, in terms of, maybe it's time to kind of go through it, breathe a little fresh life force vitality into your fridge and clean it out really good, go through your pantry, go through all your cabinets. If you're not quite at that place, maybe it's just time to deep clean the stove. You know what I'm saying? That's a, furnace, that's fire. Certainly it's a good time to kind of reorganize your laundry area. I know there's some water there, but also, typically the dryer is a hot, hot appliance, and it is the transformation of cold, dirty clothes into clean clothes. So it also very much symbolizes, the transformative effects of the solar plexus. So this is a good time, while you're tuning in, to think about these areas in your house and, maybe what's going on with the appliances. Like I said, is it time to deep clean the stove or the fridge? Do you have a washing machine that needs to get serviced or a dryer that needs to get serviced? In terms of the filing cabinet, I was thinking these are the things that relate to the solar plexus. This would be, all your warranty paperwork. Don't we all have a warranty file with like the vacuum and whatever? So, maybe it's time to go through the warranty file, and we have just, the little booklets on just the things that we have. We can go ahead and move on, to vacuum cleaners to go. This is a good time to revisit the warranty file. The other one, I also link this chakra. I know sacral chakra is probably more money, but I think about the solar plexus as being more investments somehow. Because long-term money is often about, that regal stability that, power and money are sort of inextricably connected. And so I was really thinking about, the long-term investments. Do you like where all of your money is parked? And where it's making more money for you? Or can you sleep well at night knowing that you've got your money invested certain ways? I've got a great financial planner. I'm not going to plug in by name, but if you're curious, I work with a man who he helps me put my money into all investments that are socially conscious, meaning that none of my money, making money elsewhere in the world, is made on the backs of slaves and is made on the backs of poor people. Ideally, that's the way these funds are vetted. And so I'll put him in the show notes. He would love it, actually, if I plugged him in the show notes. So I'll plug him in the show notes. Lovely gentleman, and he can help you with that. In terms of self-care, I was thinking about, appointments you can go ahead and put on your calendar. Maybe it's time to schedule a massage. Maybe it's time to like really address your body holistically, and really relax your torso and allow your body to recalibrate with a good massage. The other thing I thought about was, maybe it's time to do a gut cleanse, or maybe take some probiotics. If you've got a reason to take probiotics, this can be a good time to, actually put that on the consideration list and tune in like, oh yeah, I want to take some probiotics. That could be a good thing to do. Another thing that you might consider, just in terms of making appointments somewhere, is it time to reevaluate your health insurance? Are you on a plan that you don't really like? Do you want to go visit HR? When is your calendar year at your employer? I know that I always, when my time came around, I was always ready to go to like make my adjustments, with various employers I've had over the years. Is it time to just reevaluate all of that? And then, of course, getting into the other layers of the solar plexus, it's no surprise right here. It's linked with Mars. Mars. I'm a child of Mars. And the day of the week is Tuesday. That is also linked with Mars cross-culturally. And then so it'd be interesting to see in your natal chart, where is Mars located? So if you're tuning into all things solar plexus in your life right now, the next couple of weeks, doing some of this homework, and it might be nice to know where Mars is in your natal chart, and just like, I don't know, there'll be a message for you, I think. And then Aries and Scorpio are the two astrological signs most linked with Mars and the solar plexus. Aries is, of course, the first sign in the zodiac, and it's a fire sign, and it's linked with that, like, that thrust of energy, of just like, okay, we lift off, right? Whereas Scorpio is fixed water, and somehow that translates on kind of the other end of the spectrum, the other side of the year over there, as kind of the cesspool, the landing place, it can sometimes take on some of the more negative aspects, at least the mythological lore of Scorpios. I'm a Scorpio. We're not all that way. Come on. But it's cool to think about it linked with the solar plexus. It's got that kind of transformational kind of energy with it. Scorpio does. And then, yellow is typically the color associated with the solar plexus. But also red because of Mars, and red because of fire, right? I mean, that also makes a lot of sense. And so, again, if you were really doing magic tricks, you would consider cleaning, doing your kitchen chores, your laundry zone chores, cleaning out your pet beds, all of this week's homework on a Tuesday wearing red. That would be optimal if you really wanted to do it. So anything else to say about the solar plexus here at the end?
Yeah, no, it's always fascinating to me because, there's so many sort of correspondences with it, and to hear how, your take on it is just, it always sort of like, oh yeah, and I forgot to emphasize this or that. And the thing that I love that I really thank you for bringing this up is that whole notion that fire is that which transforms something, I think of like a log, right? Something that's heavy and solid and dense, and transforms it into smoke and ash.
Like, that's wild when you actually think about it.
It is.
It's wild.
And in a lot of these native indigenous traditions, smoke is understood to be like, is thought of like visible spirit, right? And so it has this sense of something dense and heavy and, solid to turn matter into spirit. So it has this whole sense of like, almost like, again, like chemical transformations and sort of like molecular, all that sort of the fire of our bodies is that sort of cellular metabolism and of course the digestion of food, right? And so that whole sense of like, and in the Hindu tradition, Agni is considered to be like it's the fire, the god of fire, and the god of fire is that which you make offerings to, you make sacrifices, you throw again something that's really solid and physical, and it transforms into this really fragrant smoke that would go up to feed literally the gods and the goddesses. They would like, so it's a sense of taking sort of the dead, stuck stuff in our life and freeing it up and turning it into, hopefully, to spiritualize our life. Right? So that would be a very Manipura type of
Fire transformation.
Fire transformation, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I was thinking about all that as we were talking.
Awesome. Well, thank you. All right. Well, you're listening to the Living Mandala podcast. My name is Aura. I'm here with Dr. Bill Barnard. And next episode is going to be all about the heart chakra. I can't wait for that one. Thanks for listening. Hey there, it's me again. Thanks so much for listening to the Living Mandala podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I hope that you'll let your friends know, you'll share the podcast with others. It's not too late to join in the fun and participate in all of the possible changes that you can make in your life with your home, specifically through this series, the Chakras of the House series. So if you like what you're listening to, tell your friends, drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much.